name is Elizabeth Manns, and I'd like to welcome you to the April 4th Coalition Show. This is the December 1st, 2025 edition of the show. And our mission statement is, we are for workers' rights and collective bargaining rights, and are against tax breaks for the rich and corporations who ship our jobs overseas. We support all the articles of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. And as is our custom, we're going to put the emphasis on Article 23. And Holly, you are up.
Hi, everybody. So number one, everyone has the right to work, to free choice of employment, to just and favorable conditions of work, and protection against unemployment.
Everyone, without any discrimination, has the right to equal pay for equal work.
Number three, everyone who works has the right to just and favorable remuneration, which is any form of compensation, ensuring for himself or herself and his or her family an existence worthy of human dignity and supplemented, if necessary, by other means of social protection.
Number four, everyone has the right to form and join trade unions for the protection of his or her interests.
Okay, and since I'm back, our custom is to say thank you to the Program Director for WMNB for airing the audio portions of our shows on Fridays at 6 p.m. and to the staff here at Northern Berkshire Community Television Corps, Matthew Tucker, Nicole A. Brown, and Stephen Burgoon for their invaluable assistance in producing the show. And Dick, now that I'm back.
I'm so glad to have you all here. And,
We abandoned you last week.
We're here in solidarity with you, Dick.
It's a group effort.
It's a group
And
effort.
that solidarity, that's what's going to be our focus, hopefully, for the entire month of December. And to kick it off, I went on YouTube, and this little video by Helpful Professor tries to describe what solidarity is, and we'll watch that and then have some reaction.
Solidarity is the feeling of unity and support among people who share common goals or face similar challenges. It involves standing together and helping each other, often in times of difficulty or injustice. The concept of solidarity has its roots in both philosophy and social movements. It emerged strongly during the labour movements of the 19th century, when workers united to fight for better working conditions and fair treatment. Solidarity means recognising that people's struggles are interconnected and that working together can lead to positive change. One example of solidarity can be seen in the civil rights movement in the United States during the 1960s. People of different races, backgrounds, and beliefs came together to fight for equal rights and an end to racial segregation. Marches, sit-ins, and demonstrations showed solidarity among individuals who believed in justice and fairness for all, even if they were not personally affected by discrimination. Another example is the global response to natural disasters, such as when countries and organisations work together to provide aid. After a major earthquake or hurricane, solidarity is shown through donations, volunteers, and coordinated efforts to help those in need. This collective action demonstrates how solidarity can unite people across the world to address crises and provide support. Solidarity has many benefits for individuals and communities. It creates a sense of belonging and mutual support, helping people feel less isolated in their struggles. When people work together toward a shared goal, they can achieve more than they could alone. Solidarity also builds stronger communities by fostering trust and cooperation. For example, when workers unite to demand better conditions, their combined efforts can lead to fair wages and improved safety, benefiting everyone involved. On a larger scale, solidarity can drive social and political change. By uniting people with shared values, it amplifies their voices and increases the likelihood of being heard by those in power. Movements for human rights, environmental protection, and labour reforms have all succeeded because of solidarity among individuals who believed in the same cause. While solidarity is often seen as positive, it is not without criticisms. One challenge is that solidarity can sometimes exclude those who do not share the same views or goals. In some cases, groups may form strong bonds within their own cause, but refuse to work with others, even when collaboration could lead to greater progress. For example, different environmental groups might focus on separate issues, such as deforestation or clean energy, but struggle to cooperate, limiting the overall impact of their efforts. Another criticism is that solidarity can sometimes lead to conflict when it creates an us versus them mentality. When a group becomes overly focused on its own goals, it may clash with others who have different priorities or beliefs. This division can make it harder to find common ground and work towards solutions that benefit everyone. For instance, in political movements, competing groups with shared general goals may weaken their cause by refusing to compromise.
So it did in that video, it talked about 4 things. 1, the definition, examples, benefits, and some criticism of it. So does anyone want to try to define what they think solidarity is to themselves, or how they would define it?
I think that solidarity is coming together, collaborating with others, and sort of sticking your neck out for things that you believe in, to make others feel welcome and part of a group.
And also, just to add to that, solidarity about a particular issue, it may not affect you directly, but it may be an issue you empathize with, and you want to be helpful and supportive.
Sure. And, from having been in the union, there's a lot that runs through my head with solidarity, but the most obvious thing is working together towards a common goal. I mean, it can be a multi-layered goal. It doesn't have to be just one single thing, because that's what unions emphasize, is that obviously is one big tent, and there's multiple issues that need to be worked on, so they come together to work on them.
Yeah, I think it's like a compassion, where you see another human being that is in pain for some reason, is being marginalized or not being shown justice, or treating as a human being, that within yourself you say, I'm going to stand with that individual, and I'm going to take that same pain onto me, because it's not just what's happening. And if you want to have a just society, you have to have solidarity. How about some examples? Do you have any examples in your own life where you showed solidarity with someone else?
Oh, right to me.
No, you can pass. You can pass.
I hope to think that people think that I demonstrate qualities of solidarity, but I think solidarity is very important. I think solidarity makes people not feel alone, and I think that. What do I think? What do you think?
She covered it.
Well,
Well, I can step in because obviously, as a union steward, showed solidarity when I was helping somebody through a grievance, or whenever I showed up at a rally. I may not have totally believed in the cause, but I believed in showing up because numbers matter. I realize right now I haven't been doing it much, but it's because other things in life are taking over. But if the cause is good enough, I have no doubt I would show up again.
I think, solidarity, as a union organizer, I did organize strikes and actions where people participated together over common goals. But also solidarity can happen, has been happening over the last weeks as we've seen people make donations to food pantries, or
Right.
Help serve Thanksgiving dinner, because it's when people take an action to say, we believe that everybody has the right to be healthy and to have food, right? And so we are all taking action to stop food insecurity.
Right.
We've seen in the immigrant community throughout the country, in major cities where the National Guard and ICE has been unleashed on innocent people, we see solidarity throughout the country. It's very moving to see the majority of people think this is disgusting, what's happening to these innocent people.
So did you want to
Yeah, well, I don't
segue
want
to that?
No, I think I want to go to the, we have a guide that you can get. It's the ICE Activity Guidelines for Bystanders. You may end up being a bystander of an ICE activity, either because you are part of a rapid response group, and have gone to the event, or because you just witnessed it by chance. You know, and so there's an activity guide you can find online, Know Your Rights, and I just want to encourage you to search out and educate yourself on what you should do as a witness and how you can be a witness for immigrant groups when ICE is acting in your community. But I thought we'd try to move and get a little bit of song. You brought up, Cindy, about the Starbucks stores going on strike, and so I searched the YouTube, and I came up with Billy Bragg singing Solidarity Forever 3 years ago at the Elmwood Starbucks strike. And so let's hear the song Solidarity Forever.
They are so afraid of empathy. What is there to fear in empathy? The reason they are so afraid of empathy is because if you mix empathy with activism, you get solidarity. And that's what they're really afraid of. Yeah. I think that's cue for at least a verse and chorus of Solidarity Forever, isn't it? Probably, isn't it? I wonder what key that's in. We don't sing Solidarity Forever in English, so I only know one verse. So if you know more verses, you probably know the verses, don't you, mate? You might have to come and sing them with me. Wait. I'll get it. Give me a second. Give me a chance. I'll find somewhere I can sing. I know, yeah, it's all right for you, mate. I've got to have some voice left tomorrow in Toronto. Oh, the union's inspiration, the workers' blood shall run. There shall be no power greater anywhere beneath the sun. For what force on earth is weaker than the feeble strength of none? That the union makes us strong. Let's hear it. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. For the union makes us strong. We have done the deficit to it. Oh, come on. Where did it? I don't actually know the whole. Come on, here, come on. You know the words? Come on then. Come sing. It's in B flat.
Yeah.
Is there aught we hold in common with the greedy parasite who will lash us into serfdom and then crush us with his might? Is there anything left to us but to organize and fight while the union makes us strong? Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. For the union makes us strong. It is we who plowed the prairies, built the cities where they trade, dug the mines and built the workshops, and the smiles of railroad laid. We'll stand out missed and starving midst the wonders we have made, while the union makes us strong. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. They have taken untold millions that they've never toiled to earn, but without our brain and muscle, not a single wheel could turn. We can break their haughty power, gain our freedom when we learn that the union makes us strong. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Union makes us strong.
Salute, comrade. All right, okay. Where do we go from that? That's a tough one, isn't it? How am I supposed to follow that?
That is though.
That was
awesome.
moving.
That is.
And I think that's so important, like what he started with when how empathy is sometimes confused as weakness. And that is so much the story of what's going on now. People who speak out, our president is calling them names and calling them stupid.
Right, he's trying to break the empathy factor.
And so I think solidarity is so important because we live in a very, very isolating period of time where it kind of does, you feel like you need that union, you need that strength in numbers. It is hard to just stick your neck out as one, but then again, if there are brave enough people, it starts with one. Just like we were going to also talk about Rosa Parks today, and I think she's a trailblazer. You know, sticking your neck out and being brave enough to.
Right.
Why would we speak about Rosa Parks today?
Oh, because today is the 70th anniversary of Rosa Parks' famous refusal to actually give up her seat on a segregated bus in Montgomery, Alabama. And it actually inspired 381-day bus boycott in Montgomery, Alabama, which ended up at the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court ruled that segregating a bus was not legal, and that is the foundation.
Of why segregation isn't legal anywhere, because from there it went to the restaurants, to the bathrooms,
To the schools,
to everything.
Yeah.
I mean, we always think of the iconic picture of the little girl walking in with the National Guard, more than we think of Rosa Parks, and realizing something triggered that.
Right. But she was so important. I do remember learning about her in school, and it takes just one small person. I'm not saying that she's small, but one small movement.
You never know what that
I don't know
action
But she
is
didn't
that's going to
stand
trigger.
alone after that.
No,
People
she didn't.
stood
Stood with her,
together
with her.
in there. They didn't ride the buses. I just wanted to go back to the song "Solidarity Forever" because the tune of that is the Battle Hymn of the Republic. You know, and when we talk about a union, you know, if we read the preamble to the Constitution, it says, "We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union." You know, that's what it was all about. And the first act in solidarity against slavery was the Civil War. And that Battle Hymn of the Republic, that was the song that was sung by the Union soldiers. And then to use that same tune as a union song for workers, because that was the next step. After you eliminated slavery, then you had to liberate the people who were working for substandard living. You know, and that's what the union movement is. And if we're going to have a free society, you have to have free trade unions. People have to have the right to organize, because essentially that's all a union is a people to like, you have the right to associate with others to
Work towards a common cause.
right, to ask for and try to establish a better living situation for everyone in the society. It's not an individualism. It isn't, well, I'm going to get my raise, and too bad about everybody else. I just won't tell them that I got a raise. And,
Right.
and the same thing. I mean, I have my freedom. I'm white. I live in America. I'm a male. You know, what do I have to do? You know, everything's okay for me. But I mean, when you see someone that is Hispanic or Native American or black, or you know, they're not welcome. They're just not part or seen. They're seen as an other. They're not. You know, you get into this us and them type of thing. You know, that's where solidarity has to really be built.
It really does. And, you know, I was listening on NPR this morning, and Project 2025 is really, it's getting rid of that melting pot that we all came from. And should not be any color or, you know, we should all, each religion, each ethnicity we're all just one big melting pot that can learn from each other, and we would be so much more strong if we work together than against each other. And I do think that that is a big part of what President Trump
is trying to
trying to do, and
destroy. Yes.
and get rid of. We've seen it time and time. He's gotten rid of the reporters, just the reporters that he likes, so that he can put his message. If somebody speaks against him, he calls them names.
Right.
Or
they ask a question he doesn't want to answer.
And we just had some National Guard members killed in the line of duty, and talking about not taking orders from the president, because these are illegal orders that are being put out. So solidarity is so important now more than ever. No matter how scary or isolating, we really do need to come together, I think, as a nation.
Right. We're totally opposed to violence in any form. And that's what unions are. They're a nonviolent movement. That it's a way to provide a nonviolent way for change within a society. It's so unfortunate, the one National Guard woman that was killed and the other that's in critical condition. It is such a sad situation. And in everything that, I just refer you, if you want to learn more about it, I listen to podcasts, and the Daily had a very deep discussion about what's gone on in that instance. But, if we have to come together as a nation. We can't continue to have this us and them. I look to, you want to say something?
Well, it's very interesting to me just in thinking about solidarity, because in a workplace when you organize, normally when people are at the point where they're ready to stand up at work, which is a very scary thing to do, it's because the working conditions are such that they're so bad that it's actually critical to stand up for their rights, and people sort of gather that courage together to stand up together, right, at work, to demand the same working conditions for everybody, and to demand dignity. And in some ways, our country is like that's sort of a microcosm of what's happening in our country right now, where right now we're being called upon to have solidarity across race, language, class, everything, right? To stand up together and to have courage together to say we will not allow tyranny in our country. And that solidarity is coming in all different forms, and it's kind of unfolding in a beautiful way from helping with the food pantries to blocking ICE to mass demonstrations. So I don't know, we're kind of living that solidarity right now.
And the hard part is people need to recognize that solidarity is going on, because you're not going to get it in the public media. They're going to try and put it the other.
Right.
They're either going to ignore it, or they're not going to tell you this is going on. They're going to say, "Oh, just
right."
Yeah, it's, that's just a handful of crackpots or whatever.
Or Trump is like those. They're insane. They're all
We're all crazy.
Or even, the other thing that Donald Trump does that I find to be sort of deplorable is he makes jokes on us. There'll be protesters, and then he goes on his X account and he's posting memes where he's flying in a jet with highway to the danger zone, dropping excrement on, and it's like this AI generated funny ha 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 ha, speaking to I guess he's hoping to a lesser audience that finds humor in this. And that's the sad thing.
I think with him, I think he doesn't care. He just wants attention. And so he does things. He just tries to distract us with these really gross and terrible things, just to take our minds off of what we're seeing. But I just wanted to I really highly recommend this book on freedom by Timothy Snyder. And I was reading it last night, and there was one section because he was trying to to bring us to the point where, you know, we have, the one thing that the people who are in charge right now is they want us to think that, you know, there's not enough to go around. Things are always going to be this bad. Things can never be good again. Don't worry about history or think of the future. This is the way things are going to be. And Timothy Snyder says, if you want to talk about freedom, you have to look to history and you have to look to the future and you learn from that. And the one question he brought up in this, he was talking about children, but he said, if we're going to talk about children, the question is, what happened in the 2020s for them, the children, to live in a land that's free in 2076, in the 200th anniversary of our country? What are we going to do in the 2020s to guarantee that our children are going to be living in a free country? That's all we have to ask. We don't have to listen to what these people in charge say. Let's ask ourselves, what do we have to do to guarantee that freedom for those children?
That's a scary thought.
And solidarity is, I think,
One.
one of those answers,
Yeah.
where we stand with everyone. Everybody in, nobody out. Like we had that talk about healthcare, you know, the single payer in
Healthcare
Massachusetts.
system.
Yeah.
You know, if that child wants to live free, they're going to have health care for the mother, prenatal care, health care, the mother not kicked out of the hospital after the baby's born, and family and medical leave to take care of that baby, sick days for the parents. You know, there's all sorts of things.
Education and the ability to live in an environment free from fear of violence.
Right. End of racism, wealth inequality,
Equality.
you know, guaranteed people that they don't have to worry. Like he even proposed in this that every 4th of July, every American should get $2,000 just to celebrate the freedom, so everyone can't be like most Americans live in a situation that if they get a $1,000 bill unexpected, they don't have any way of addressing it. So if the government could ensure that everyone has that little bit of safety net in their bank accounts to take care of those things. But he goes on to, I just want to encourage you to read this book and think about that question. What did we do in the 2020s to guarantee our children and grandchildren a future of freedom in 2076?
Well, I do think that's an important question. And you know, I think that we live in such a free world sometimes. There are the majority of us that if we got that $1,000, maybe we would invest it. We would pay a bill or something. But there is a lot of Americans where we all live so free. We're almost like Veruca in the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. You get $1,000 and let's run to Walmart and buy a big screen TV. Let's buy this. And it's like, there's too much of everything. And so I think in my household, I have 2 children. I try to teach them, you know, we don't live lavishly. We have enough, but to be grateful for everything you have.
But there's those that don't.
And to just, you know, I think it comes from the parents.
You know, just
And we're out of time.
this
but that's okay.
notion.
We are, but it's all right.
This notion of solidarity, you know, I think about when you're organizing a union, or many people in unions understand that, you know, bosses, when you're organizing, they lie about unions, they threaten people's jobs, they call people names, they marginalize people. And unions, in some ways, I really hope that those lessons that people learn when they're organizing are taken to today's world, you know, because Donald Trump is doing the same thing that bosses do in the workplace. He is trying to divide and conquer and make us feel like we're each other's enemy, you know?
That's what he's doing.
I think
And, you know, since you took your mic off,
Oh, okay. Are we still recording? Is she recording us?
Oh,
Even
yeah.
though we. Okay, I'm so sorry.
Anyway.
The clock stopped, but
you want me to wrap it up?
Yeah.
I think we'll wrap it up and we'll end with that thought and we'll pick it up at the next show. And remind everybody that poverty is the enemy.
it is.
Power to
Thank
the
you.
people.
Power to the people.
Stay
debts of the bosses we must pay for. From the cities and the farmlands to trenches full of mud, war's always been the bosses' way, sir. The Union forever defending our rights. Down with the black leather workers unite, with our brothers and our sisters in many far-off lands. There is power in our union. Now I long for the morning that they realise brutality and unjust laws cannot defeat us. But who'll defend the workers who cannot organise? And the bosses send their lackeys out to cheat.